Welcome YouTube land and vinyl collectors and music aficionados of all type. My name is Dave. I've been making videos for quite a while, but haven't made any in quite a while. Probably been over a year. For those of you who used to catch my videos, I hope you're still out there and I hope you'll check me out again. In the past, my videos have been kind of a hodgepodge of all sorts of vinyl interests as I was trying to narrow things down. Well, I think I've worked on that a little bit, and I'll talk a little bit about that. But first of all, just a little brief explanation about why I've been gone. Used to live down in Kentucky, and a little over a year ago, we're finally able to move back up to my home state of Michigan, which is fantastic. There's no place like home. I'm sure you've all heard that before, and a lot of you feel that way. And in my case, it's definitely true. Definitely therapeutic for the soul, I can tell you that. Also, a big change that came with the move was we left our 140-year-old cramped farmhouse into a beautiful brick ranch, large brick ranch that was built the same year I was. So still kind of vintage, but lots more room. I finally have a record room down here that I'm working on. You can see bits and pieces of it around here. I've got been able to add some nice vintage equipment to the repertoire. Some nice storage. I'm not going to be able to do a room tour right now. I'm still kind of in the process of putting everything up. I'm building my own shelves. I'm not one for the instant or the semi-instant record storage, so I'm building my own. But this past spring I kind of got sidetracked, kind of got some bad news, diagnosed with cancer, so I'm putting all of my energy into fighting that and getting that disease out of here. And once I get that taken care of, then I'll be full force back at this and hopefully get it cleaned up maybe by this time next year, and we'll do a room tour then. So thumbs up, let's hope for the best. But another thing that I've done is really focus my collecting habits. Like I mentioned before, if you've watched my videos in the past, I've kind of been all over the place. Whatever tickles my fancy, whatever I come across, I pick it up. I still kind of do that because, but I've really kind of focused what I want to spend my money on, my more, I don't know what you would call it, but my more targeted purchases. And that's two things. Michigan artists, because home, and Scottish artists, because I really dig the Scottish music scene and always have. And so I'm kind of focusing on those two rows. I know it's not really a laser-like focus, but so a lot of my videos from this point forward will be talking about those two collecting avenues in particular. But if that's not of interest to you, I still collect a bunch of hodgepodge, and that's actually what most of my video today will be about. So enough rambling, enough about me and where I've been and hopefully where I'm going, and we'll get started with some music. I do have time. I've always make time for spinning vinyl, so there'll be plenty to talk about. I just grabbed a few that have been recently played. This is not the whole pile that I've played over the last year, but maybe over the last week or so. First one is Prince's Purple Rain. Yeah, you know, I don't fancy myself really a fan of Prince, but there are 3 albums of his that came out in the mid-'80s. This one, '84, of course, the soundtrack to his movie. It's got one of my favorite Prince songs on it, Let's Go Crazy. I just haven't picked these up as fast as I wanted to. They're usually kind of in rough shape when I find them out in the wild, and even if they are in decent shape, and even if they aren't, they seem a little pricey for my pocketbook for just a casual pickup. But you know, my wife likes them as well. We found this one at a decent price in Flint, and so I grabbed it. It does have a little pop on the first track on side 2. When Doves Cry, so that kind of sucked, but it's good enough. And then, like I said, there's a couple others, 1999, of course, and then I can't think of the other one that came, I believe, just before that. Those are about the only two others that I would pick up by him. But still interesting. I like it. Guilty pleasure. Child of the 80s. Next up is a Canadian band that I think all know and love. This is Progressions of Power by Triumph. Came out in 1977, I want to say. No, 1980. So yeah, another cusp of the 80s album. Not one of their best. They Live for the Weekend is a pretty good song. Nature's Child, pretty decent. But yeah, you kind of gotta like Triumph to be into this album. It's definitely not one of their best, but I enjoyed it. Good listening. Good hard rock from Canada. This one I've had for a long time, just never got to playing it. Had to get it cleaned up, and for whatever reason it kept falling through the cracks. And that's the Monkees, of course. And this one has a theme from the Monkees on it. This is from 1966 on Cold Gems, Saturday's Child, Last Train to Clarksville, bunch of other their songs. Not quite their great hits that everybody really knows and loves, unless you're a super fan of the Monkees, which I am not so much. I dig their music overall. I used to watch their shows when there were reruns back on MTV back in the 80s, and I tried watching some of them a few years back, and I thought, oh my God, I don't know if I can stomach that stuff anymore. But still, it's good fun to listen to. Nice album to have in the collection. Another 70s, 80s hard rock band that I never really got into for whatever reason. But once I put this album on, I kind of started questioning why I was delaying. This is the 1977 album from BTO, Bachman Turner Overdrive, Freeways. This was a pretty good hard rocking album. I really dug this. I was really kind of blown away by this. I wasn't familiar with any of the songs on here, I don't believe. Can't remember. But once I put it on and got it spinning, I really enjoyed this. So I'm definitely going to expand my BTO collection. I think I have one or two others already in the collection, but this one is definitely going to spawn further exploration of this band. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Nice rock. Nice hard rock. Then a band that needs no explanation or introduction. This is Mirrors by Blue Oyster Cult. Again, not one of their better albums or one of their greater albums. It's from 1979 on CBS. Doesn't have any of their biggest hits on there, but that just an iconic photo right there. Total 70s cheese rock looking photo, which is just awesome. Epic mustaches, plenty of cowbell going on there, I'm sure. But yeah, I enjoyed this album. I enjoyed Blue Oyster Cult, and I think I might have only one other album of theirs in my collection, so I definitely got to work on that. And again, like I say, these are kind of hard to come across around here too, in decent condition, but And then It's Only Rock and Roll by the Rolling Stones. This is a little bit later than I'm a fan of. I like the early Stones period, but my wife is an all-around Stones fan, so grab this, and of course has a title track on there, and really good condition of an album. The cover's in great condition. Inner sleeve here is in pristine condition. So yeah, I mean, it's the Stones. What more can you say? What more can you say about the Stones? Then it's good listening. If I can figure out, keep my hands shaking enough to get it in here. All right, so that's the hodgepodge for today. I'm going to get into this a couple of just two Michigan albums that I really wanted to talk about. One is super obscure, and one is not. And the first one, the super obscure one, is a band called Glassing David. They're a new wave, were a new wave band. This is a one and done outfit. Came out in 1984. Dwayne Scher and Jackie David were the two primary dudes on there. See if you can get that in there really well. And of course, had Daryl Sims and K.A. Combs. Now, it's new wave. It's what you would expect from the mid '80s. They do throw a little bit of a trick pony in there. The first song on side one, they kick it off with a cover of "Somebody to Love," which I do a pretty decent job on it. I thought it was a pretty interesting rendition. And this came out, like I said, in '84 on Overture Records out of Canada. Well, it's pressed in Canada. Overture Records is a Detroit label here. Was a Detroit label. Sometimes still is, I think. At least up into the early 2000s, late 90s. But you might want to give it a listen. If you're into the synth pop, new wave, it's interesting. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. It was definitely a treat to listen to. A little bit of an obscure band to start things off. And then this, of course, is not obscure at all. This is Brownsville Station's debut record from 1970. No BS. Cub Coda, Michael Lutz, and company. And lots of covers on here. Really kind of 50s, 60s rockin', sort of a little bit of rockabilly. Definitely a fun album. 1970, I think I said. If I didn't, then it came out in 1970. On I want to say Warner Brothers, yes, on the P Green Warner Brothers label. It's a really good album. I enjoyed it. It's definitely you can hear where they're going, or where they're going to be going later in their career, with Smoking in the Boys' Room and various sundry other tracks like that. Comes with just a basic Warner Brothers inner sleeve, nothing special. But yeah, this was a fun record. I really dug it. These can be, they're not expensive. $12 to $15, I guess you could say. Maybe get them for $10. This was in really pristine condition. So album record wise, there's some ring wear a little bit here on the back and some tape up on the cover, but we don't play the covers, so yay. Alright, well that's it. I mean, short and sweet. Hopefully I'll be making them a little bit more in depth, a little bit more meaningful. Like I said, I'm just shaking the rust off. I don't rehearse. I just get to talking, and it ends up being what it ends up being. So, for those of you who check this video out, thank you. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I will hope to do more in the future. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me what you care about, and I'll do what I can to talk about that and get more into watching you. I've been watching you guys. Some of you guys are just so prolific that I can't even keep up, but there's a select few of you guys out there that I won't miss a video, and I don't comment much because a lot of times it just seems kind of trite to say, hey, good album, like that album, yeah, oh, I love that one, I got that one too. But yeah, I mean, that's the interaction, I guess, that we look for, so I need to do more of that. But alright, well, thanks again. I'm going to stop rambling, and I will catch you all later, alright? Peace.